Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Now, I know you guys are probably going to immediately say, especially when you see the thumbnail as well, Luke, where the heck is your Lincoln Town Car? And I know, and that's a very good question to ask, because as you can see, I'm not at the house right now like I usually am. I'm in a random parking lot. I just thought I'd stop on the way home from work and film something for you guys. Now, the Lincoln Town Car, if you're gonna ask why I don't have my Lincoln Town Car, it's because it's actually not mine anymore. And I know you guys are gonna get up in arms about this because you guys seem to love the Town Car, but let me explain first why it was necessary to sell it like I did. So, first of all, this car might look a little bit familiar to you guys, at least this style of car, because this is actually the exact same style of Jetta that my dad drives that I've actually worked on before on the channel. In fact, it's actually the same year. This is a 2011 and his is also a 2011. Granted, mine, the body is in a lot nicer shape. You can see it's not completely rusted out right here with a big rust hole like his is. Actually, this thing has zero rust, at least on the body, so that's nice. But anyways, let's start off with story time about why I had to sell the Town Car. It was very unfortunate that I had to sell it. I did love that car. I really did. It was a great car. I love those old luxury boats. In fact, I'll probably own another one day, honestly. If I ever get in a good enough financial situation in my life one day when I have a full-time job and plenty of money, I'll definitely own another one of those. And I'll own like a really nice one, lower mileage, that I just use to like cruise around town sometimes in the summertime. But I'll even get a lower mileage one than mine was, honestly. That's nicer. But yeah, so I didn't really want to sell the car, but at the same time, it was a necessary step for where I'm at in my life. So if you guys didn't know, right now I'm actually going to college. Ironically, I'm actually going to auto mechanics school. It's only a 2-year degree, but long story short, the college I'm attending for auto mechanics is about an hour away from where I live. So that's a lot of driving every day to go there and back, and also from there to work. So the gas mileage the Town Car was getting really wasn't that great for how much I was driving. I mean, it was getting around 22, 23 miles a gallon, which isn't terrible, but when you're driving that far every single day, it does kind of affect your gas usage. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason was I did want to get something a little newer and something that I really know will last forever, like a Volkswagen. Now, I'm not saying Town Cars aren't reliable. Panther cars are great as far as reliability. That thing didn't give me any problems, major problems, the entire time I had it. So Panther cars are great for sure. I just haven't really like experienced how long they'll last. So I really couldn't speak on that. I mean, according to some people, they last for like 300, 400,000 miles, which honestly I believe. But I just wanted to get something that I know for sure will go for a long, long time and not give me too many issues, because this generation of Volkswagen, especially with the engine it has, and we'll get into that in a little bit, is just really reliable. So that's reason number 2. Reason number 1's the gas, obviously. And reason number 3 was the Town Car did have a little bit of rust, honestly. It had a decent amount of rust on like the rocker areas. So for example, like right here, the driver's door jamb had some bubbles starting up here and like a pretty decent rust area right there. And then, oh yeah, right here on the passenger side, like down below here, it was starting to rust out a little bit as well. And then over here on the other back door sill, it had a pretty decent amount of rust. So yeah, the rockers had some rust. There was like the little body damage right here from when it had been in a wreck. And then, what was that other thing? Oh yeah, I know that, you know those chrome fender flares I used to cover it? I know right here they were also hiding a rust repair underneath. So the vehicle did have a decent amount of rust. I mean, none that was really showing and making it look bad, but I knew if I kept driving it, and I knew especially if I tried to drive it in the salt this winter, that it would just get even more rusty. And then if I tried to sell it like next spring or summer, it would just not be worth as much. So that's reason number 3. Reason number 4 is, what was reason number 4? Reason number 4 is, as you guys know, I live in the Midwest. I won't say what state, but I live in the Midwest. So there's salt on the road, or not salt. We have winter, you know, obviously with snow and ice and all that. So having a car that's rear wheel drive isn't really the best idea, because I mean, I probably could have done it. I probably could have managed and driven it just fine in the winter, especially if you put some weight in the trunk. It probably would be fine. I mean, back in the day, like the 50s and 60s, and I'm sorry about all the noise. There's a bunch of motorcycles coming up the road, but like back in the 50s and 60s, when all they made was rear-wheel drive cars, people had to drive those in the winter. So I'm sure I could have done it. It just wasn't my preference because it's not really as safe. So yeah, and obviously Volkswagen Jetta, that's front wheel drive. So this is a front wheel drive car. So it's a lot better for the winter. Outside of all wheel drive, front wheel drive is the best thing you can have in the winter, because up here, the problem with rear wheel drive is there's no weight on the rear wheels. It's just like an empty trunk back here and back seat. So unless you have like a bunch of people sitting in there and a bunch of stuff in the trunk, it's pretty much empty. So it's a lot easier to slip. In fact, in the town car, I did drive it in the winter like once or twice when I first got it, which was like last January or February, and it would slip like really easy in the ice or the snow if you applied too much power, because at the end of the day, it's also a V8, and that V8 is sending a decent amount of power to the rear wheels. Even if the engine isn't like the most powerful, it sends a decent amount of power. And so yeah, it would slip. I also accidentally like did burnouts in the gravel parking lot at our friend's shop because, you know, it's loose, and when you try to take off onto the road, that happens. So yeah, I like the fact it's front wheel drive on this car because it's better for the winter. And let's see, what number are we even on? I don't even know. We had the gas, the rust, the winter driving. Let's just call it number 4 or 5. I don't know. Anyways, the next thing also is I had owned the car for a while and it hadn't given me any issues, but there was a couple little things that were starting to like crop up and that would probably be an issue in the near future that I would have to take care of. And that's the tires they had good tread, but they were pretty decently dry rotted. A few of them were a little bit dry rotted. So I didn't want to like risk having to keep driving those and maybe they'd blow out or something. I mean, I never had any issues, but who knows? Which actually, that's ironic because the tires on this car really don't have that good of tread. As you can see, I need to get new ones before too long. It'd be nice to get some new ones before the winter. But yeah, they were starting to get a little bit dry rotted. The other thing was, just before I sold it, in fact, the guy that was looking at it, that bought it or whatever, he looked underneath and saw there was a little bit of transmission fluid that was leaking and like spraying on the undercarriage. Apparently the rear drive shaft seal was starting to go bad. So that can happen when like gunk or dirt gets inside and compromises the seal. If you didn't know, the rear drive shaft seal is a rubber seal around where the drive shaft slides into the transmission, or on a 4x4 where the drive shaft slides into the transfer case. So when that seal starts going bad, it starts weeping a little bit of transmission fluid and spraying it around. Now, it was never an issue for me. It was just a little bit of a leak. I did fill the transmission fluid once, but it was never a huge deal. But yeah, that would have had to been replaced. It was going to need an oil change soon, which that's no big deal, but there's that. It would probably also need a transmission service soon. Now, the transmission wasn't like shifting weird or acting like it was going out or anything, but I don't know, like I have no idea when it was serviced last since I got it off an auction, so it probably would have been a good idea to do a transmission fluid service soon, and I also didn't really feel like doing that. But majorly, it was just like nothing really major, just like a couple little things I didn't really want to do. And I knew, and that brings me to the next reason, I did want something a little newer. I mean, 4 years doesn't sound like much, 2007 to 2011, but yeah, it's good to get something newer, especially when it's a daily driver. Like, as much as I love older cars, in fact, I hate the new cars. I mean, they got way too much technology and their design is just stupid looking. But it is always good to get something a little newer to daily drive so that you minimize the problems that you may run into. Now, I'm not saying Panthers are unreliable, again, for all you Panther fans, and I'm one of them. I love Panthers. They're really reliable, but at the end of the day, when you're driving an almost 20-year-old car every day, something's going to give eventually. It may not be something major like the engine blowing up or the transmission blowing up, but something is going to break eventually that's going to put you beside the road and be a decent repair. Because no matter how reliable a vehicle was back in its day, it's always, once it gets to be about 20 years old or so, it's going to start having more issues. Like, for example, the Panther platform or the GMT 800 Chevy trucks with like the Vortec engines. Those are extremely reliable engines and trucks, but at the same time, they're 20 years old, so stuff's gonna fail. Like, even if it's not something major, I mean, after 20 years, seals start breaking down, plastics start breaking down, belts start breaking down, stuff like that. So I just wanted to get into something newer. But so yeah, those are basically the main reasons why I sold my car. Gas, rust, issues that might have cropped up soon, and getting something a little newer and winter driving. But without further ado, let me go ahead and show you around the new Jetta here. So let's just go ahead and start in here, I guess. So this car does have the 2.5 liter inline 5-cylinder engine, just like my dad's. It has the exact same engine, which that's probably the best engine Volkswagen ever made, if I'm being honest, because, and I'll show you it in a second, because these engines are so reliable. I mean, they go for like 300,000 miles or more. I mean, they're just as reliable as a 4.6 liter V8 in the Panther, if not more, because yeah, honestly, Volkswagen made a huge mistake discontinuing these. I think they discontinued them in like 2013 or 2014, but they made a huge mistake because these were like the best engines they probably ever produced, honestly. Because, I mean, this car has 180,000 miles or 178. My dad's has almost 250, and it's still going strong. And our friends at the shop have known people that had ones with almost 400,000 or over 400,000 miles that were still going strong. So these are great engines. I know 178,000 miles on this car sounds like a lot, but for how far these engines go, it's really not. I know you guys are gonna laugh at me for being stupid that I sold a car with 136,000, like my town car, for something with 178. But like I said, all the reasons that I mentioned kind of negated the mileage, honestly. All right, let's step in here real quick. You can see 178,486. No big deal for this drivetrain. But yeah, you got your normal, I mean, unfortunately this one didn't have a screen, it just has a normal radio. Thankfully though, this is new enough to have Bluetooth connectivity, so I don't need my stupid little adapter anymore to play music, which is nice. I might put in a screen eventually, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it right now. This is a manual. I don't know if I probably didn't mention that, but yeah, 5-speed manual. Oh, come on, lights turned off. It's a 5-speed manual, which honestly, I do like driving an automatic like the town car because it is a little bit more relaxing as far as like, you know, answering the phone while you're driving and stuff like that. But driving a manual, I don't mind it. It's more exciting too. I learned on my mom's 6-speed Golf all-track wagon, which I've also made videos on. But yeah, it's pretty fun to drive a manual. But yeah, just pretty basic interior, just like my dad's. Oh, I should zoom out. There we go. Not really much to talk about in here. Oh yeah, I have my now I know you guys are gonna say that it's stupid that I go to Starbucks. No, I don't go to Starbucks. In fact, I hate Starbucks really, and I'm not a big coffee fan. The only reason I went there tonight is because, hold on, let me find it. It's on the other side of the cup. That right there. Mint Majesty with 2 honeys. I don't know if you guys, oh, I'm sure all of you have heard about the Charlie Kirk shooting and all that, because, I mean, unless you live under a rock, you've probably seen that in the news. So, yeah, this was his favorite drink, in other words. He always drank Mint Majesty teas with 2 honeys from Starbucks. So I'm kind of like honoring his memory by drinking some because, yeah, Charlie Kirk. I mean, everybody's going to have their different opinions. There's probably some Democrats that watch my videos. There's probably some people that are in the middle on stuff. But no matter what your opinions are, and I don't want the video to start getting political, but no matter what your opinions are, if you agree with his beliefs, if you agree with the Republican beliefs, if you agree with Christian beliefs, doesn't matter. Even if you completely disagree with everything the guy stood for, it's still terrible that he died. I mean, he was only 31 years old. He had a wife and 2 small children. I mean, it's just horrible. Me personally, I'll just put it out there. I do agree with all of his beliefs, or at least most of them, because I am a Christian. I do tend to lean towards the Republican way. But like I said, it's up to you what you believe. I really don't care what other people believe. That's just up to them. It's up to everybody to choose, and nobody should hate each other for their beliefs. That's the problem with this nation. I mean, everybody's hating each other and all that. That's the whole reason why they're killing people like him, because, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't want the video to sound political, but yeah, I got my drink here. just please, guys, don't become radical. It doesn't matter what side you're on, whether you're right or left or in the middle. Just please don't become radical, because when people become radical, then people start hating other people, and if they disagree with their views enough, maybe even going to the extremes of killing them like they did with him. So just please don't be like that, guys, because we can be better than that and make this world a better place. Anyways, that's my that's my little side topic off for the night. But I know this video is getting long, so let me finish. You got the back seat, obviously, not much to talk about there. I have these little covers off for the pillars right now because my rear window defroster wasn't working in the back, so I pulled it off. And apparently whoever tinted the back window in the past forgot to reconnect the rear window defroster wires to the actual glass itself. So I got to still figure out how to do that and what kind of glue to use. So those covers will just remain off until I figure that out. But that's just my lunch bag from work. Not much to talk about in the back seat. Like I said, this car has absolutely no body rust. It might have a little bit underneath, but it's surprising how clean it is, honestly, because I think it came out of like Virginia or Pennsylvania, they said. So it wasn't like it was a southern state with absolutely no rust. But hey, I'm not going to complain. It's probably might get rusty over time from driving in the winter up here, but as long as I start out with no rust, that's what matters. Trunk, not really much to talk about in here. My trunk light actually works. I don't know if I ever told you, but my dad's car, for some reason, the trunk light back here just quit working a long time ago and just refuses to start working again. I don't know. I've tried changing the bulb in it. I've tried doing a bunch of things. It just won't start working again, so I don't know what to do there. The things we've done on it so far is, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, we replaced this mirror because the old mirror was fine and the mirror worked and everything, but somehow the previous owner like smashed the mirror or something, and so the whole mirror cover was like missing, this colored piece, and then under it this like plastic bracket here was broken, and we were just going to slap a new mirror cover on it, but then when we saw this plastic bracket was broken on one of the corners, we realized we couldn't do that. So it was no big deal. We just went down to the junkyard and grabbed a new mirror, and it was actually free because that was something our friends at the shop fixed before they sold it to me. But yeah, this just came out of a junkyard one. We found one with the same color and everything. The other nice thing about this is it does have the rain guards, so you can have your windows slightly down in the rain. That's kind of nice. But last of all, let's go ahead and pop the engine so you guys can see, or pop the hood, sorry. The only thing that sucks about these Mark 6 Jettas is that they don't have the hydraulic hood cylinders like the town car that just hold the hood up. So you kind of gotta prop it up yourself with this little piece. But at the same time, it's kind of cool because it's kind of old school. Very few cars anymore have this. And honestly, it's more reliable too, because as the car, which there's some leaves I need to clean out. As a car starts getting older, a lot of times those hydraulic cylinders will fail. And then you gotta either put in new ones or your hood just won't stay up. I mean, the black car, you probably remember the old black Jetta wagon we used to have in our videos. The black car did that. It used to, those things broke and it wouldn't hold itself up. Thankfully the town cars worked, but that one didn't. So this is honestly more reliable. Either that or the big metal coil springs. Those also are good. But yeah, here's the 2.5 engine I was talking about. It's honestly pretty big because this is a normal, like, smaller car, so the engine fits in here. So it's a little bit smaller of an engine bay. So yeah, a little bit harder to work on than a forward mounted V8 in a town car. So that kind of sucks. But like I said, Lord willing, hopefully I won't have to work on it that much because these are pretty reliable motors, knock on wood. Battery looks pretty decent. Coolant level's good, yeah. Belt. Yeah, that's the engine bay. They freshly detailed it for me too before they sold it to me, so I haven't had to clean the engine yet, thankfully. So yeah, the only things, so yeah, we replaced the mirror on it. The other thing we did is, the day after I bought it, it started, a check engine light came on, and also it started giving me the EPC light, which if you didn't know, in Volkswagens, the EPC light stands for electronic power control. And that basically means that there's something wrong in the electronic power control system of the engine, whether it's the throttle body, one of the sensors, anything like that. So I just drove it for a couple days like that, but on like the 4th day it was doing that to me, it started acting really weird. So it would like turn over for longer than it should, almost like the battery was going bad, but there's nothing wrong with the battery. And then also on that 4th day when I was driving on the highway, it stalled on me twice while I was driving. So I went over to the shop and we got the sensor replaced. It was the camshaft position sensor, which is actually really easy to change. It's just right there on top of the engine if you take the cover off. But basically that does exactly what it says. It measures the camshaft revolutions in the engine and feeds that data to the computer so it can monitor the fuel and make sure that all the power control stuff is working properly. And what was happening was the old sensor was kind of screwed, and so it was losing signal basically randomly, especially when it was cold and first started up. And so it was losing signal, and that's what happened that day, that it stalled twice. It probably lost signal those 2 times and stalled the engine, because the engine can't work if it doesn't have the data from that sensor. So yeah, I just went over there. We pulled one out of a wrecked car they had and replaced it real fast, and I haven't had any issues since. So those are the main 2 things we did. The only things it really needs is I need to reconnect the rear defroster wires and hope that fixes that. It probably will need a new AC compressor next spring or summer to make the AC work good again. It kind of just goes in and out because I think the switch in the compressor is failing. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. There's no sense in replacing it before winter anyways. The heated seats don't work too well, but I really don't care about that. And then it needs a front wheel bearing. I don't know which side yet. It's either left or right, but it needs a front wheel bearing at some point because it is doing a little bit of growling, but it's not too bad yet, so I'm not really going to worry about it. Okay, anyways, let's just get a quick start up in. I know this video is kind of going long, but let's get a quick start up in and then I'll end it. All right, come out of there. There we go. Yeah, it came with 2 keys, which was nice. You just have these Volkswagen fobs. I like that design. Okay, it did the stupid. And the other thing is there's some weird like short in the headlight system or whatever that makes it say like headlight out or whatever. Really drives me nuts. I don't know where it's coming from, but there's definitely not a bulb out, although this one headlight housing over here, which I don't know why it's doing it now, but there's one headlight housing I do kind of want to replace. There you can see the engine running. Sounds pretty good. No main issues. This headlight here is kind of a little bit cracked. So yeah, when it gets water on it, some moisture will go inside and make it look terrible, but it looks fine right now. I might eventually, I'll probably just wait till I find a decent one in a junkyard and just replace it then, but I'm not too worried about it right now. It really doesn't affect anything. But yeah, there's the engine. You can hear it running. But yeah, that's going to be about it for this video. And I know you guys probably think I'm stupid for exchanging my town car that basically had no issues for this that has not really any major issues, but like a few little things. But like I said, the town car wasn't perfect either. It hadn't given me any issues yet, but with older cars, you never know when they might start. And also, like I said, there was going to be a couple things, like probably a transmission service, a rear drive shaft seal, and there was the rust too. I'd rather have a car with a few minor issues like this and absolutely zero rust than a car with rust and no issues, because honestly, I can fix mechanical things. That's really no big deal for me, especially if they're little simple things, but I can't fix rust. I really don't know how to do body work, I'll be honest. I mean, body work is something I really haven't learned yet, and not sure if I ever will. Hopefully I will someday. But anyways, that's gonna be about it for this video, guys. I just wanted to let you know what's going on. Let me turn it off. I know I literally posted a video of the town car. My last video, in fact, I posted about the town car when I was changing the washer fluid pump or whatever. And actually that was the second to last day that I owned the car, because I was actually the day before I sold the thing, the washer pump decided to quit on me. And so, you know, I was selling it on Marketplace, but I wanted to be a good guy. I didn't want to sell it to him with any issues. So I just went ahead and got a new pump and replaced it so it worked, because the guy that bought it wasn't like super mechanically inclined, so I didn't want him to have to worry about anything like that really. So I went ahead and did that for him. But yeah, I'm sorry guys that I couldn't make a proper farewell video to the town car, where I like filmed the last video with it and all that. So that washer pump video is going to be your last video with the car. I was planning on making one. In fact, a couple months before, when I was gonna start selling it, I was gonna make a video announcing that I was selling it, but then I didn't end up selling it then. And by the time I did end up selling it, I was just in such a rush to get it sold, because I didn't even order this car. Our friends at the shop randomly picked this car up at the auctions, and I figured it would be a good idea to get into something a little more fuel efficient and better for winter driving. So I was basically in a rush to like get the town car sold within a month so that I could buy this, because otherwise they might have had to sell this to someone else, because they can't just keep cars forever if they're selling them. So yeah, I didn't really have time to make a proper farewell video. I was too busy responding to marketplace messages and meeting people to look at it and stuff like that. So I'm so sorry about that, guys, but just consider this your farewell video to the town car and your introduction video to my 2011 Volkswagen Jetta. Which, by the way, is, other than having a manual instead of an automatic, this is the exact same car as my dad's. I mean, it has a 2.5, it's the SE trim, it's basically the same thing. So, which honestly, I'd say it's a bonus to have a manual over an automatic, because manual's more fun and also a little bit more reliable. I mean, Volkswagen automatics have come a long way. They're definitely a lot better than they used to be. Like the transmission that was in the black car, those were terrible automatics. They would always go out. But the newer ones are definitely a lot better, like in these, but I'd still prefer a manual, because manuals are pretty much bulletproof, whereas automatics, you never know when they could fail because there's so many moving parts inside there. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications. And the last thing I'm gonna say is, put down in the comments down below what you think the new channel name should be, because obviously we can't just leave it Lincoln Land, because I don't own a Lincoln anymore. So put down below what your suggestions are. I'm thinking a name that's more generic, maybe like Luke's Garage or Luke's Whips or something like that, because I don't really want to keep naming my channel after specific car brands like Lincoln Land or Volkswagen Mechanic was my old name, because I mean, you never know, like with the town car, when you might just sell a car and then your name is stupid basically and you have to change it. So because Lincoln Land doesn't apply anymore, obviously. So I don't want to change it back to Volkswagen Mechanic, because then if I ever sell this and get a different brand of car, then I'd have to change it again. So I'm thinking something more generic, but let me know down below what you guys think. And there'll be more videos to come on this and other vehicles for sure. But for now, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and like the video. And don't forget, guys, don't hate each other for your beliefs. And definitely don't go as far to hating people that you kill them, because that's just terrible. That's the message I'll end the video with. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.